He's back, Mal Meninga, ready to reconquer, and they're back, the Aussies, the world champions, big, fast, exciting. We'll be following all their Yorkshire matches. After tonight, the Kangaroos take on Castleford in a week's time, then Halifax lie in wait. Sheffield get their turn at the Don Valley Stadium. We'll be there too, and at Odsal for Bradford Northern's tilt of the tourists, ending up at Gateshead with Great Britain's under-21s. Meninga and his coach Bobby Fulton have a wealth of experience. Big occasions are everyday occasions for them. Meninga's been tormenting British defences for more than a decade. This is his first try on English soil at Hull KR in 1982. He's been reminding his team games like tonight's are vital.
First 5 games are very important, that we get a cohesion and get everyone in form and playing well, and make Bobby Fulton's job very, very difficult to pick a test side.
Down but not out, Gary Schofield, uncertain of his Britain place, out to remind Ellery Hanley what he's capable of.
The ball is for Schofield, and he pops up in the right place at the right time, yet again for his country.
Well, Lee Crooks is in our team tonight. Lee, what's at stake for Gary?
Well, as far as the captaincy goes, Nick, I think Ellery's already stated in the press that he's made his mind up on that point, and I don't think somehow that Gary's name is going to be on that sheet of paper, but the stand-up position for the Great Britain side's wide open, and I think if Gary can make a tremendous game of it tonight against Laurie Daly, then he well could be on the team sheet for the Wembley job.
And here's the moment British Rugby League has been waiting for. Leeds on the left, Australia on the right. Sit back and enjoy it with Lee. But first, good evening to John Hell.
And welcome to the start, really, of the Kangaroos Tour. This is the Doug Lawton selection for Leeds. Gary Schofield has known some big days in his career. This has been made into one of the biggest because of his well-publicised struggle to guarantee himself a place in the Great Britain side. He's got to produce the goods tonight against his old adversary, Laurie Daly. A strong Leeds side, lacking only Harvey Howard and, of course, Ellery Hanley of the big names. As for the Aussies, well, they've named a mixture of test certainties and hopefuls. If you look from 1 to 6, well, you'd expect all those players to figure at Wembley. Alan Langer's place at number 7 at scrum half could be under threat from Ricky Stewart, of course, with the exception of Paul Sirenen, who wears 10 tonight in the absence of the injured Glenn Lazarus. The pack has plenty to prove. So Mal Meninga kicks off here at Headingley. Important that the ball is taken, and it is by Gary Mercer, this New Zealand second row forward, a former centre. James Lowes from acting half-back, and expect the Australians to be steamed up for this. They were training here yesterday afternoon at Headingley. And getting an early feel of it for most of these players. It's their first action of the tour, and within the first 30 seconds Mr. Smith has to separate the sides. Not unexpectedly.
No, I think that's the sort of start you'd expect from a Kangaroo touring side, and one from a club that's very eager to be successful against them.
Lee Crooks alongside me, whereas the Leeds box with Dougie Lawton midway back up against the wall. He'll have plotted the Leeds tactics. There's the referee, Russell Smith from Castleford, and a popular decision, the first penalty of the night awarded to Leeds, and Gary Schofield, the Leeds skipper, pumps the ball out. So play will restart here on the 25, and what a good chance for Leeds straight away, and Harmon came roaring in there, back in the side. He's had a back problem, but he didn't have a problem there. Here's Famalo, and Famalo carries the fight towards the Australian line, no more than 7 or 8 yards out, and it would be a matter of great pride for Leeds if they got the first score of the night. Richie Ayres, and another penalty is going to be awarded here, and once again Mr. Smith in sharply to separate these teams. Good start from Leeds. Francis Cummins to give Leeds a 2-point start, and that he does quite confidently. So the 1994 Roos are 2 points behind. Contact. Schofield will hoist one, and it's a very tricky one for Ettingshausen, and it bounces away from him. Meninga's there to pick it up on Australia's behalf, and a penalty is awarded against Australia.
Good decision there by referee Russell Smith. A very good kick from Gary Schofield, put the winger under pressure, and that pressure paid off.
ET as he's known. So, towering kick from Schofield. Ettingshausen always looked uncomfortable under it. Straight away it's looked along the line to Richard Ayres. Lows to Schofield, to Mann. Some really good ground being made by Leeds, and they might well have an overlap out the right here. Iro, if he can squeeze the ball away, there might be a try, and it didn't fall kindly. Good scrambling defence from the Aussies.
Yeah, good defence from the Australians, but just a poor pass in the end, very rushed, and something that I don't think Leeds will want to do. They've got to keep good control of the ball to hope to put any Australia under any sort of pressure.
Two points to nil, Leeds lead, 8 minutes played. And now it's run off. Meninga, and here's the flying Ettingshausen, and a great tackle on him by Francis Cummins, who's like lightning as well. That will have done Cummins no harm. Fittler, a loose forward, can play in the centre or in half-back, but he's a loose forward tonight. Now it's Lange, reverse ball from him, Sirenen. And the penalty this time for holding on by Ayres. Richie has another one, Lee, with a point to prove. He's been left out of the Great Britain squad.
Yeah, I think Richie will be after having a good game against the Australians, as will one or two of the Leeds players. And I think that'll go for the case of all the players that are actually playing against the Tour inside this season.
It's a good kick from Daly, and this is the first threat really to the Leeds line, with 6 play the balls. Sedaris. There's a short ball from Dean Pay to Jason Smith. Real danger to Leeds here as the Australians try to seek out their first score. Lange, Daly, and it's moved out swiftly through the hands. Mullins had got in there, and it's a very brave run from Hancock, finally grounded by Jim Fallon and Kevin Iro. Lange again will be instrumental in the move. Daly can't get away from Schofield though, but the penalty is awarded against Leeds, and they want to take this quickly, and Daly does so. And Lange, they might tee up something now. Lange, Meninga, surely the first try of the night for Australia's Ettingshausen, and so ET strikes on his return to Headingley. Well, the Roos are bouncing again.
Yeah, quick tap from Australia, got the ball to Lange. Lange passed out to Meninga. Meninga feeds ET coming in off the wing, and a good try. Just a footnote to the viewers watching, you'll notice that the Australians don't actually tap the ball on the floor, they actually play the ball out their hands, which is legal now, and I'm sure that they've done that on the last 2 or 3 occasions from tap penalties, just to let the viewers know that it is legal.
Werner looking for the first points of the tour for himself, but puts the ball straight into the crowd. Still, Australia have the lead. There is the Aussie bench. Wendell Saylor among them there, who scored those 2 terrific tries at Cumbria at the weekend. Sirenen. From Fittler. A knock on. Wasn't the best of passes. Famalo, former witness man, eager to make an impact in his first season with Leeds. George Mann, summer signing from St Helens. Schofield here, his first hint of a break, finally comes to ground in the hands of Sirenen. Richie Ayres. Leeds have perhaps made 25 yards so far, and now Schofield puts boot to ball, forcing Mullins back. Now we'll see him in full flight. Mullins takes 2 to put him down. whipping the ball out in the tackle. That was good. Here's Meninga, and Meninga makes the break through the middle. Feet it inside for Ettingshausen. An important tackle on Ettingshausen by Antat.
You'll just have seen there, Craig is flying in out of his line on Meninga. That's one thing he can't do against the big man. He's very agile for a big bloke, and he'll cause them all sorts of problems if they carry on doing that.
Well, we see it. Ball back, coming across, and fumbled there. It is quite a cold night, but it's a nice night. Good conditions for playing rugby league.
Tremendous conditions and a perfect pitch to play on as well.
And the Aussies will think so if they score from this, but a little slip there is also perhaps a little greasy. Langer, again he's the fulcrum of the attack, and they switch the ball left, and Sirenen is not far out from that Leeds line. Australia have a great chance here. It's whipped back again for Langer, and Langer has got supported his shoulder with Pay, and now Sedaris along the line. Extraordinary. Oh, they got the ball back, and the referee rightly waves play on, and there might be a try for Renouf. He's scrambling on all fours towards the line, and he's scrambled over the line, and the referee says that's a try. I thought there might have been a double movement there, but not in the eyes of Mr. Smith. Steve Renouf is the scorer.
They keep the ball alive, which is what the Australians like to do. Werner passes it out. Innes, who's come out of his line again into the Australian line, he's been caught napping, and they've picked the ball back up, turn it inside to Renault, who's strong enough to get to the line, and I think his momentum there has carried him over.
That's the benefit of an action replay. You can see he actually turns over very intelligently, so he didn't ground the ball, and that was the critical factor. I think it proves the ref right.
Yeah, I think there was a right decision there from the referee.
Ferner with the opportunity to register and to take Australia into double figures. And it soars between the posts. He's off the mark. Australia have 10 points on the board. The try from Renouf, the goal from Ferner to go with it. Iro.
I think the lead short support players got to pick up a little bit. There's twice that two players have gone through and had the ball available.
Tap there, throwing the ball back inside rather loosely, and it was gobbled up by the Australians. They love to have the ball in their hands. Well, they've got that now, and Langer will look for gaps through the middle, as will Meninga now. Meninga for Daly, and Laurie Daly might get all the way here. There's a lovely move from Meninga, and Laurie Daly. Well, he given the pass inside to Ettingshausen. He could have gone all the way himself, and that was very unselfish, because Laurie Daly was one of only 4 players who didn't get a try on the last tour, and yet he's given that one to Ettingshausen.
I think he might have just been blowing for a tug there.
It is early in the tour.
Yeah, good ball here. Meninga, you can see Innes backing off him there into defence. That creates the space for the inside pass to Daly. As I say, he's gone 10-15 yards and he started looking. He's seen Tate come across, and it's been a good ball to E.T., who's finished off a nice try.
And Leeds are in trouble already at 14-2 with 23 minutes played, and here was the third score. I still think Daly could have gone all the way himself. Very unselfish. Try number 2 for Ettingshausen. So we'll get Ferner's kick. And he's finding the range now, all right. Ferner's goal takes Australia further ahead at 16-2. Well, Ettingshausen has made his mark, and I'm sure that's all gone down and been noted by the Great Britain players. There's Sean Edwards in the middle of your picture. Tipped to be the Great Britain captain for the first test. And Martin Afire as well. You can pick him out there with the orange jacket. Sirenen. Another half break made by David Ferner, who's son of the chairman of selectors. It's quite handy. I'm told he definitely earned his tour spot. Last tackle. And the ball was lost. Mr. Smith looks to his judges and gives a knock on. And 47% possession so far for Leeds, not much in it really. That was the handover. Ayres has made a brilliant break here, but he'll not get past the full-back Mullins. That's the first clean break by a Leeds forward, really. Let's see if they can develop it. They've got a substitute on, by the way, Leeds. More about that in a moment as Iro comes into it. There's young Graham Holroyd, another teenager, is making his mark in the Leeds side this season. Has been rested tonight, so to speak, so that Schofield can play at number 6.
I think Leeds will be very disappointed there. A good break by Richie Ayres and no support play at all with him.
Penalty given. Sure, Daly really wants to get a try though. This would be his first in this country. Fittler. Impressive start from the Australian loose forward. Now Dean Pay, another tall, rangy man who's made his impact this season. Langer, Daly, they're queuing up here, and this is Jason Smith looking for someone to appear at his shoulder. Mullins tried. Alan Langer spinning away, orchestrating. Alan Langer's going to score. Simple try. He's a wick little customer, is this one. Wiry, tough, and weaves his way over the Leeds line. Australia's 4th try, and Alan Langer's the man with it.
Yeah, Leeds are going to be very disappointed with this. Alan Langer's dummied inside and just sidesteps round the full-back Alan Tate. Very poor defence from Leeds there, and something that they'll be looking to improve on throughout the game.
He knew where he wanted to go. There was never any hope of stopping him. And the danger is Langer's try is turning it into a rout already at 20 points to 2 and only 28 minutes played. Leeds can only stand and hope and try and reorganise. Furness should kick his 3rd goal. Over she goes. So it's looking a very healthy scoreline already for Bobby Fulton's team. Lowe's. Now Holroyd. Now that's a towering kick from him, and this will put some pressure on the Aussies. And I think there might be an offside decision given here. Well, we were talking about how quick Mercer was. Too quick then, I think.
I'm not sure whether he's got him for offside or he's actually got him for taking the man without the ball.
You could well be right there, Leah. I thought initially it was for offside. He was up very, very sharply, and that's always a difficult decision, I think, for a referee. They've got to have eyes in the back of their heads.
It is sometimes, especially with the height of the kicks that Graham Holroyd puts up. It does give their players certainly a lot of time to get to the player that's actually catching the ball.
Dean Pay on his first tour, one of the uncapped players. There are 8 uncapped players in this Kangaroo squad. There's another of them, Smith. And there's probably a couple of places up for grabs. Langer.
Yeah, I think there's a few sectors that you can say is going to be put for the first test, but there'll be quite a few places up for grabs, and these games are the ones where they're going to get picked from.
I think Hancock there is one of those, with Wendell Saylor breathing down his neck after his 2-try performance in the first game. What a hot prospect he is. Langer with an astute kick, and the Lord Chase Ettingshausen could get a hat-trick. Ettingshausen over in the corner. That's an excellent kick again from Alan Langer, who's really proving a point tonight, as is Ettingshausen. 3 for him already. What a dream of a return to Headingley.
Yeah, very good kick here from Alan Langer. I think you'll find out that Francis Cummins has been found guilty of staying inside his winger, and anybody as quick as E.T. just can't afford to do that.
So 5th Australian try, a 3rd on his return to Headingley for E.T. He's glad he came home. Well, it's a strange kick, but it's flapped right across the face of goal. The scoreline remains unchanged at 26 points to 2, but Andrew Ettingshausen is 1 short of the Australian record by Carlson here. He scored 4 tries against Leeds. Is there time for Leeds to get a score? For Marlowe. Neil Harmon running with purpose again. 4 more tackles to come unless the hooter intervenes. Schofield. And then Mann. James Lozid acting half-back, and then Holroyd, and he brings on Richie Ayres. Ayres and Mercer have run well. There's Mercer again, and Mercer a little chip kick through, and this puts Ettingshausen under pressure, takes it well, however, and he's had an exemplary half, but he'll have to kick out from behind the Australians' posts.
A good kick there from Gary Mercer, who's been one of Leeds' best players tonight.
But there'll be no time for the kick-outs because the half-time hooter has sounded. A comprehensive scoreline so far as Australia are concerned. 5 tries for them, 3 of them from Ettingshausen, 1 each for Renouf and Langer.
Well, that's similar to Sean's in some respects. You know, Leeds are going up 1 out and not having no support, but I think the defence is the worry, and you know, they're just not moving up both sides of the ruck, and as soon as Australia turn the point of attack, they're causing them a lot of problems.
Just a reminder of that score, which won't be welcomed by Leeds fans. It's 26 points to Australia, 2 to Leeds. Leeds have brought on Nicky Fozzard. There he is, number 16, making the tackle there. He's a big lad, isn't he? 17 years of age. Oh, and a break straight away at the start of this second half. A terrific break made by Jason Smith, and he kicks, and Ettingshausen is on his way for maybe his 4th try. It's gone out. Well, he was so close then. I always wondered why Smith did kick in that situation. He'd made very good ground. Neil Harmon, by the way, is in the blood bin, and that's why Fozzard is on. Now that means Harmon can come back, but Arntak can't. As Lee was reminding me during the half-time, with 4 substitutions, international rules, once you're off, you are off, unless it's the blood bin. I'll tell you about an Australian substitution in a moment. Well, there he is, number 16, going down in the tackle is Steve Menzies from Manly. Had a big game against Cumbria. Here's Schofield, who wants a big game tonight. Very difficult when your team is struggling.
Yeah, like we said, you know, the forwards have got to get on top, and that's something that they just aren't doing at the moment, and that makes it more difficult for the half-backs and the outside backs.
Fallon eager to get into the action, and I wonder what Dougie Lawton will have said, Lee, to the team.
It's hard to know what to say to a team that, you know, comes in at the half-time, 26 points to 2 down. But I think character's a lot that he's got to rely on. Players' character and getting out there and just getting on with the job and making sure that defensively they're sound, and if they get chances, they've got to take them.
There he is, Dougie Lawton. I'm going to pop on the cigarette. Langer. The Australians look to create space out on that right, but they've pinned Meninga this time. Good tackle by Innes. He's quickly learnt the art of rugby league, Craig Innes. Last tackle. So Langer will kick. He'll hit it well downfield. Allen takes it now. And they're up on him. Running into a bruising Australian wall. But 7 minutes played in the half, and Leeds have conceded nothing else. A has hotted it up a little bit, increased the temperature. Holroyd, long ball, Schofield. Another good pass, and Tate races into the line. Great running from Alan Tate, and what a tackle on him as well. Leeds can't pick the ball up, Australia can, and they might benefit from this. Tremendous break from Laurie Daly, and Laurie Daly might be on for his first try in England. Laurie Daly, no, if he'd have kept going, that's the second time tonight. I wonder if he's got a bit of a phobia about getting to that try line. There's going to be a penalty given, and another yellow card given as well. This is for Gary Mercer. Let's see what happens now. Langer the reverse ball, and this, oh, it looks so much as though it's going to be a try. Langer scored one already. Langer gets the pass away. Ettingshausen, still Ettingshausen. And Leeds at full stretch now. Meninga looking for his first score of the tour. Tries to burrow his way over. Australia haven't scored as yet in this half, and they won't now because of a knock-on.
A tremendous counter-attack there from Australia. Daly's picked the ball up, and he just looked as though he tied up going into the 22 there. I don't know if he's carrying an injury or he's just suffering from some jet lag, but certainly didn't look the player that went 50 yard at Sydney Cricket Ground, or Sydney Sports Stadium, sorry, the other Sunday.
No, I have to admit, I was listening to the commentary on that one, Lee, and they said that he looked all right. I just thought he wasn't quite running with his usual zip, and he certainly tied up on that occasion. Leeds have the ball.
They must control the ball for the sets of six now, Leeds.
And Australia have brought on a second substitute in David Fairley, number 17. Watch out for him in your picture in a moment. There he is in the tackle. Big fella with a scrum cap. David Fairley has replaced Jason Smith. I saw him disappear up the tunnel a moment ago. Well, Leeds are perhaps a trifle fortunate not to have conceded anything further. And, the word from the bench is that Smith got an elbow in his throat. Not very nice. Ettingshausen, he's certainly impressed, and away he goes to try and impress again. Hancock, he's done well too, and races through now. Hancock, spirited running. He's obviously playing for his test place and knows it.
Yeah, he's had a very good game tonight. I'm sure he'll be pushing the selectors.
Dean Pay. Sorry, Lee, that was Dean Pay making tracks. Sedaris de Lange. Knocker. And a penalty given there because Sedaris knocked the ball away.
Actually, it's deemed as a professional foul, that, and he should really have got a sin bin.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's ungentlemanly conduct, isn't it? Players go for all manner of reasons, don't they, Lee, nowadays?
You're right there, mate.
Lee Crooks, who had 10 minutes in the sin bin here last Friday night in the game between Leeds and Castleford. A certain offence is seen by the referee on Ellery Hanley. So that's why Hanley is not playing tonight. He's injured. And, I'm pretty sure he's getting a close-up look of this match, though, as the Great Britain coach. We've learnt quite a bit about Australia. Schofield, he knows all about him, no matter what he does. Iro, not had many running chances tonight, the New Zealander. Schofield on the short side, Tate back inside, Schofield chips through, and will follow his own kick. And makes the tackle as well, and the crowd roar their approval for Gary Schofield. They want him to do well.
Yeah, he's a very big favourite with the supporters down here, and it's just a bit unfortunate that things aren't going his way this season.
Fairly dragged down. Gary Schofield so close to breaking Mick Sullivan's record of all-time test appearances. Needs 3 more. Langer. The short ball, and there's a burst on here, and this might well be an Australian try. It's Pay all the way, and all the way into the 25. It was Fallon who finally nailed him. Sedaris, they'll come roaring up now, all wanting to be part of the action. The ball back inside, Meninga's in. Mal Meninga's first try of the tour. A scorer in 82, 86, 90, and a scorer predictably in 94, the big man.
could actually be looking at one of the Australian test props in action here. If Lazarus gets injured, as he is. Meninga's actually backed up tremendously well, gone from one side of the field to the other, and it's been a good try.
The reference was to Dean Pay, who made the inroads initially. Meninga there, he's had such a finale to his Australian career with a try in the grand final and victory as the captain. He's over. It's a simple kick for Furner. It's 4 for him. And Meninga's try extends Australia's lead to 32 points to 2, and Leeds have a job on now to prevent a record score against themselves by the touring team. Dougie Lawton looking rather intense, slightly worried, although of course you have to consider the league is his prime option this season, not this match. Menzies, Pay, great ball from Pay, here goes Menzies. And Fairley, that was Fairley, the skin one coming onto it. Langer for Daly. Slipped by him, Langer, he's got a man up alongside him, and Langer might not need that man. He's there, is he? Yes, Alan Langer. Well, that's tremendous resolution on the part of the little scrum half, his second try. And Leeds are really being routed now.
Well, Laurie Daly slipped here, passed the ball back inside to Alan Langer. And the way the Leeds defenders are dropping off him, I thought it was Bradley Tide that were pushing him away there. Good try by the little man.
Obviously got elastic arms as well. He started the move, didn't he? And then Daly slipped. Maybe it confused Leeds, but Langer certainly confused them. Terrific determination. What a powerhouse he is. Furner makes it 12 points in 4 minutes. It's disconcerting for Leeds. It's 38-2. And we could be looking at 50 or more points on the board here for the Aussies. Another Leeds substitution has been made. Number 17 is Marcus Vasilakopoulos, the commentator's dream. What do you think Ellery Hanley's learned tonight, Lee?
I think he's learned that it's going to be a very, very tough job as Great Britain coach. But there are areas in the Australian defence that I think Great Britain can capitalise on. But it's proved that defensively you've really got to be on form against them.
Langer, I might ask you about those areas in a moment. As it's switched briskly along the line again, and a clever little move might release Hancock for his first score of the tour. Hancock's taking them all on, through the middle he goes, and a very fine tackle on him by Alan Tate. He's still played the ball, he's forced his way in, but a penalty will be awarded. He didn't play the ball properly. I think that was just a case of Hancock being desperate to get on the try sheet. Yeah,
I think he's seen the line there, he's made a good run, and he's had a little go, he's saying, to try and get over the whitewash.
Fozzard. Well, he's a willing workhorse. Certainly need people like that in your side. Vasilakopoulos to Schofield. Schofield, brilliant. Lovely little kick and catch from Gary Schofield. That's what he wants if he's going to retain the Great Britain captaincy and indeed his place in the team. Schofield again. An angle kick which Ettingshausen takes over his shoulder.
Yeah, once again, no support there with Gary. Whether it were off the cuff or not, I don't know, but at the end of the day, if a player makes a break, he's got to have support with him.
So much one-man rugby. Mullins up the middle. 17 minutes to play. Australia lead by 38 points to 2. And they'll try and stretch that lead now. This huge man, Fairley. He's had a huge season as Fairley for North Sydney. Nice little backflip. Menzies. Gives it for Meninga. Past one, oh, clever timing of the ball for Langer, but maybe on his way to a hat-trick, Alan Langer. Will they hold him off? Oh, he's going to go all the way, he fainted. It's not often you see Langer scoring in the corner. Tate wasn't sure. It was 2 against 1. Alan Langer's in for a hat-trick, just as Ettinghausen has one.
Yeah, good play by Meninga, keeping the ball alive. Just shows you how much pace the little fella's actually got. Tate has come across, tried to round him up in the corner, and he just gave a little dummy inside to hold him off and made it an easy try.
And it's a good-looking kick. It's just missed. 42-2 is the scoreline. There's Wendell Saylor in the action for the first time. He made a huge impression up at Workington on Sunday. Lovely catch. Michael Hancock certainly done his cause no harm tonight with his performance.
And good strong runs from Michael Hancock and some very good positional play as well from the kicks.
And here goes Saylor. I see that Walters, number 14, has come on as well. Brisbane man. Little kick through from Sidaris. He's a good runner. Well picked up by Fallon, and here goes Jim Fallon now. Falls to the tackle eventually of Fairley. Mercer. He's always wanted the ball tonight.
Yeah, he's played very well as Gary Mercer. Spowley sent a little bit for going in the sin bin, but apart from that...
That's just what Gary Schofield didn't want, to spill that sort of a pass. And the break on from Walters. This is Kevin Walters as opposed to Steve. That's Gary Schofield.
Definitely out of sorts tonight is Gary, unfortunately.
You don't think he's done his test scores any good then, Lee?
No, he's been playing behind a beaten pack, but at the end of the day he's got to run the ball a lot more, and that little bit of spark that we know from Gary Schofield just isn't there tonight.
Menzies grounded. Langer across the line. There could be gaps again. Oh no, that was a good crunch tackle on Daly, although Walters has picked it up and kept it going, and here's Daly a second time. Here's Walters, who's just come on. That's Kevin Walters. Steve Walters also in the party. So it hasn't figured as yet. There's Walters once again. A lovely ball inside, and Langer might get a 4th try for himself. He's taking on Tate. Oh, the pass has fallen into Leeds' hands, has it? No, it's still Australia's ball. Langer, there must surely be a try here for someone. Dean Pay. And it's Menzies who scores. Steve Menzies, who got a try on his debut against Cumbria on Sunday. He's over for another one. Another for him, another for the Aussies. The Kangaroos are really on fire.
Yeah, Langer again instrumental in the play. Picks the ball up to Sidaris, I think it is, who picks Menzies up. All they have to do really is walk all over the try line and score.
Well, they put 52 points on Cumbria. They've already put 46 on Leeds, which tells you something. Steve Menzies is over. He is a big, strong fella. Good score. Ferner to take Australia on to 48 points. And that's exactly where they are. Steve Menzies delighted. He was named man of the match in his first game at the weekend. As you see, Meninga's gone off. He's done enough. He's earned a breather. Ettinghausen's gone off as well. The last source of pride for Leeds will be to prevent Australia running up a half-century. They've 3 more minutes to hold out for that. Last tackle now. Schofield inevitably will kick. Straight down the middle for Mullins. And he's got 25 yards to play with. And away he goes. Held in the first tackle. Finding his feet on his first tour, Brett Mullins. Wendell Saylor. Whoa! There he goes.
Very similar to Martin Afire in the way he just roams about the field looking for little gaps to come into. And what we've seen of him so far on the tour, he could well be as fast as Martin as well.
So Mal Meninga has become such an inspiration to the Australian side. And he's become a legend as well. And he's a nice man, signing autographs there, only too happily. Alan Tate's not given up, an enterprising run from Alan Tate, and a try from Alan Tate. Well played, Alan Tate. Saw the danger that was lurking to the Australian defence, took full advantage, and nobody's deserved a try more than him.
No, he's definitely deserved that try, Alan. He's probably one of the few Leeds players that have actually caused Australia a few problems when he's got the ball in his hand. As you see, it's a typical Leeds move from the scrum where he picks Tate up on the blind side. He's dummied Fallon inside, sent the two Australian players the wrong way, and he's had enough pace to score in the corner.
Tremendous vision from Alan Tate there, nearly brought Fallon into it, didn't need to do in the end, takes on Hancock. A Leeds try for Alan Tate. Holroyd trying to add to that tally, and it's just drifted wide of the left upright, but still Leeds will feel a little happier. Alan Tate has got them on the try sheet. 48 points to 6. Now they might keep them under 50 as well. Schofield, the chip over the top is a useless one. Saylor has knocked it back, and Leeds will dribble it on, and they might get a second try. Who knows? They've 3 men up there trying to force one. Mullins has knocked it out. It was Holroyd leading the charge, and that really would have lifted Leeds a second try. But Leeds have the put in here. Head and ball to them. Can they get one more try to give this crowd something really to roar about? Holroyd. And Tate might be looking again. Here he is now. Alan Tate, try scorer. A moment ago. So I reckon we've had the full 80 minutes. Here goes Fallon straight into Furner. And it's all over. A really successful start to the tour for the Kangaroos. Not only have they put 52 points on Cumbria, they've put 48 on Leeds, and rich applause around Headingley for a thoroughly professional performance by the touring team.
Andrew, you couldn't have asked for much more, could you, on your return to Headingley?
No, I was very happy with the way things turned out tonight. It was a great win for our guys, 48-6, and everybody played well.
Overall, do you feel that the squad is moving the direction you want towards the test?
Well, definitely. We've had 2 strong wins, both have been near 50 points. Today's game obviously was against Leeds, a much tougher opponent, and we really put some great plays together, and the boys really worked hard up the middle. Our mobile pack really dominated the game.
And the crowd still like you here?
It's a fantastic crowd. The atmosphere was electric as usual, and you can see here behind us, everybody gets behind us, so it's great.
Andy, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Al Meninga, the Kangaroos captain, celebrating victory in this first club match of the 1994 Australian John Smith Tour by 48 points to 6 over Leeds, and that silver salver presented to him as a memento of his final appearance in the green and gold shirt here on the Headingley turf. So Lee